Following the HOA's decisive vote to block, Emily's plans felt like a cold winter for her spirit. Yet beneath her disappointment, a fire had been ignited. Emily refused to accept what she saw as an unjust ruling that stifled her right to improve her home. She knew she had to fight smarter, not just harder. She spent long evenings poring over HOA bylaws, local ordinances, and legal forums. Emily was determined to find a loophole, a way to challenge the community's decision. She reached out to a few neighbors who had expressed tentative support, trying to gauge their willingness to stand with her. Some responded positively, while others remained silent, wary of the potential backlash or afraid of upsetting the established order. In her research, Emily discovered that many HOAs had appeal procedures or mechanisms for exceptions. If she could gather enough support and present a compelling case, she might be able to overturn the ruling. With her newfound resolve, she prepared a detailed packet, photos of her yard, expert testimonials, and a well-argued appeal letter emphasizing the benefits of artificial turf and its increasing acceptance in modern communities. Meanwhile, Mrs. Thompson and her allies grew more vocal. They held small meetings, discussing ways to tighten HOA enforcement and prevent residents from flouting rules. Mrs. Thompson, in particular, seemed emboldened, convinced that her efforts had preserved the neighborhood's charm. She intensified her patrols, walking the streets with a clipboard, scrutinizing yards, and reporting minor violations, lawn weeds, unapproved decorations, anything that deviated from the standards. The tension in the neighborhood was palpable. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some residents, who had initially supported Emily, began questioning her motives. Others, tired of the constant rules and restrictions, quietly sympathized with her, but hesitated to voice their support openly. Emily decided that her next move would be to attend the upcoming HOA meeting, where she would formally submit her appeal. She knew that the odds were stacked against her. Many of the HOA board members were old-school residents who believed in tradition above all else. But she also understood that public opinion could be a powerful tool, especially if she could sway even a few residents to her side. The night of the meeting arrived. Emily dressed neatly, prepared her documents, and took a deep breath before walking into the community center. The room was filled with familiar faces, some supportive, some indifferent, and a few openly hostile. As Emily took the podium, she felt the weight of all eyes on her. She presented her case calmly and confidently, emphasizing her respect for community standards, while arguing that her turf was a reasonable and modern improvement. She highlighted how artificial grass could conserve water, reduce maintenance, and even increase property values, points that resonated with some residents tired of the ongoing drought and high upkeep costs. The opposing side, led by Mrs. Thompson, countered fiercely. They argued that the neighborhood's charm would suffer, that Emily's yard would set a bad precedent, and that the HOA had the right to enforce aesthetic standards. The debate grew heated, with residents voicing their opinions passionately. After hours of discussion, the HOA members voted. The outcome was uncertain. Tension was thick. Emily felt her heart pounding as the results were announced. The decision was split, but ultimately, the majority upheld the ban on artificial turf. Her appeal was denied once again. Emily left the meeting with a mixture of disappointment and renewed determination. She knew she couldn't give up, not yet. She had to reconsider her strategy and find other ways to challenge the community's rules. Meanwhile, Mrs. Thompson and her supporters celebrated their victory, feeling justified in their stance. But Emily's resolve only strengthened. She understood that this was more than just about a yard. It was about standing up for her rights and challenging the status quo. As she walked home that night, Emily looked at her property with a new perspective. The fight was far from over. The neighborhood was divided, and she could sense that the conflict was only going to escalate. The battle for her yard and her rights was entering a new, more intense phase. And so, with her determination unshaken, Emily prepared herself for the next chapter of her fight. She knew that even small battles could spark big change, and she was ready to face whatever came next.